Hi students, welcome to my channel. In this channel we provide the in-depth knowledge of different programming languages like C, C++, Java, Python, which differentiate you with other students. In our series of Java programming language, in last two classes we have discussed something known as constructor and destructor. Today we are going to discuss another topic that is known as static block. If some of you have already done C++, this static block is not available in C++. This is new introduced in Java. Now what is static block? As the name specifies, static means it belongs to the class, it will not belong to a particular object, like static member functions or static data members. A static block is similar to static data members in the sense that it belongs to a class, not a particular object that we have already discuss. The static block is executed when the class is first loaded. It is typically used to initialize all the static data member of a class at one place. So when this block will be executed, when the class is first loaded in the memory, and when this class will be loaded when we try to create an object of that particular class. So see, this static block is executed when the class is first loaded. It is typically used. Why we use this static block? It is typically used to initialize all the static data member of the class at one place. In this block we can also use control instructions to validate the static data before initializing it. We cannot access non-static variables or a method in this block. What we have seen, in this block we can also use control instruction to validate the static data before initializing it. We cannot access non-static variables or method in this block, same as in the static methods. Let's try to understand this static block using one example. Here we are having import java.util.asterisk public class static block cal. We are having one user defined class in which we are having public static void main, and we are calling sample.showDate. So what is showDate? ShowDate is a static member function or static method of a sample class that we have just declared below this static block cal. Now in this class sample we are having three static data members, int y, int m, int d. Y stands for year, m stands for month, and d stands for date. So private static int y, private static int m, and private static int d. So int y, int m, int d are declared static with a private access pair specifier, means it can be only accessible inside the sample class. Now this is how we can declare a static block, by just writing a static keyword. There is no need to give the name of the static block, just write static opening brace and closing brace. We can write that static block inside static, we can create a static block. In static block what we are doing, we are creating an object of a calendar class, not actually object, we are creating a reference. Calendar cal is equal to calendar dot get instance. So get instance will return the instance of a calendar class, or you can say it will create an object and it will return the instance of that object which will be received in cal, and we will call the get method of the calendar class. Cal.get calendar.year, it will return the current year. Cal.get calendar.month, it will return the current month, and cal.get calendar.day of the month, it will return the day of the month, means date. So y will store 2022, m will store what, 10 October, and d will store 17 because today is 17th. So y 2022, m stands for month, that is 10th, and d stands for date, that is 17th. So in public static void show date system.out.println, we are trying to display year plus y, then system.out.println month plus m, system.out.println day plus d. Output will be year 2022, month 10, and day 17. But here we have to see, here we have add 1 to this month. Why? Because the first month of the year in the Georgian calendar and Julian calendar is January, which is 0, like arrays. If January is 0, the October will be 9, but 10th month is going on, so we have to add this m equal to m plus 1, so it will return 10, so we will get 10 here. Reason, the first month of the year in the Georgian calendar and Julian calendar is January, which is 0. That is why we have to add 1, whatever this calendar dot month will be returned. So it will return 9. Why? Because January is 0, so October will be 9 only. Okay. So this is the output, year 2022, month 10 and day 17. Now note this, in static block we have called the static method get instance of the calendar class. This method creates calendar object and fills it up with the current day, month and the year. We have extracted this data by calling get method of the calendar class. This only we have discussed. What we have written in static block, we have called the static method get instance. Why we are saying get instance is a static method? Because they are called using class name. Static methods are always called using class name and non-static methods are always called using object. So when I write calendar.get instance, it will return the object of a calendar class by filling the current date or time data. That is we have written. In static block we have called the static method get instance of the calendar class. This method creates calendar object and fills it up with current day, month and year. We have extracted this data by calling get method of the calendar class. How we can extract that data? With the help of get method. Now get is static or non-static? It's a non-static. Why? Because it is calling using references. Cal is what? Cal is a reference of a calendar class. Calendar is a predefined class which is a part of utility package. That is why we have to import java.util.string. So this is how we can declare a static block and we can initialize static data members inside the static block. Okay, I think you have understood. So what is static block? Static block is similar to the static data members in the sense that it belongs to a class, not a particular object. The static block is executed when the class is first loaded. This is very important. The static block is executed when the class is first loaded. It is typically used. If somebody asks why we have to use a static block, then answer will be it is typically used to initialize all the static data of a class at one place. If you want to initialize, why? Because there will be a single copy of the static data member inside a class. When you create an object, instance means instance of an object. If we are having non-static data member, that there will be a different copy for every object, but there will be a single copy of this int y, m and d, which will be shared by all the object of the sample class. That we have already discussed. What static data member and member functions are having single copy. Member function, whether it's a static or non-static, there will be a single copy. But if we talk about the objects, so when I write int, suppose if I write here int x, so x is what? X is a non-static data member. तो जितने सैंपल के ऑब्जेक्ट बनते जाएंगे उतनी एक्स की कॉपी बनते जाएगी, लेकिन वाई एम डी की सिंगल कॉपी रहेगी विच विल बी शेयर्ड बाय ऑल द ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ अ सैंपल क्लास. दिस वी हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस इन प्रीवियस क्लासेस. ओके, so this static block is executed when the class is first loaded. It is typically used to initialize all the static data of the class at one place. In this block we can also use control instruction to validate the static data before initializing it. Means we can use if else all that stuff in this static block. The static data before initializing it, we cannot access non-static variables or method in this block. So this is how static block works in Java. This is new in Java. This is not available in C++. I think this is clear how this static block is working, how we can declare a static block, why we are using static block in Java. If any doubt, you can ask me in the comment box. I will try to reply it within 24 hours. And if you like the content of this channel, please like, share and subscribe as much you can. It will motivate us. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.